Hey guys, it's Joel at MetaGeek, and in this video, I want to show you how to use the Report Builder accessory. So the first thing we need to check and see is if you have Report Builder. If you have Report Builder, it should show up right here between Tools and Help. But in my case, Report Builder is actually missing. So let's see if we can find out why. To find out why, I'm going to click on Help and click Register. And this will take me to the registration window for Chanalyzer. And if I look here, I can see that I have a Chanalyzer base license. But there's also a note here saying that Report Builder, Cisco Clean Air, and the lab accessories are not included with this license. Now, typically, if you buy Chanalyzer 5 from our website, it's going to include Report Builder by default. But if you want to save a little bit of money, or if you don't think you need Report Builder at first, you can buy Chanalyzer without that Report Builder accessory included. If you decide you want it after the fact, you can buy a Report Builder key for about $150, and we'll just send you this Report Builder key that you can activate to add this to your license. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring in my Report Builder key, and I'm just going to paste it in here. And when I click Register, it's actually going to add the Report Builder feature to my base license. So now if I go back in here and then go to Register again, you can see that it says Chanalyzer with Report Builder. So now I just need to close the software and open it up again for those changes to take effect. So let's go ahead and build a report with a recording that I took earlier. Now you can build a report off of a previously saved recording. You can build a report off of something that somebody emailed you, or you can build it off of live data. Just to make life easy, I'm just going to do it with a recording that I have saved to my desktop. So in this recording, I had a cordless phone that was causing some havoc in the 2.4 gigahertz band. And we want to build a report that shows what happened. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on Report Builder, and I'm going to click New Report, which is going to launch this separate window here. Now, you may have noticed that I'm on a pretty low resolution display. I'm actually on an 11-inch MacBook Air here, and that's kind of on purpose because this is going to go on YouTube, and I kind of like the resolution that my MacBook Air gives me. It's about 720p, and so it looks pretty nice on YouTube, and so I'm intentionally using a low resolution display. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to snap Report Builder to one side, and I'm just going to snap Chanalyzer to the other side. And I'm just going to kind of bring Chanalyzer out a little bit wider, but now I can really easily switch back and forth between them. If I was to move this over to my my 28-inch Thunderbolt display, I can snap each one on the side and build some really beautiful reports. And so if you have a desktop computer that you'd like to build reports on, you can activate Chanalyzer on your second machine, and you can build those reports out on your desktop if you have a higher resolution display there. So it's really convenient and easy to do. Okay, so basically with the Report Builder, what we can do is we can take any graph, we can take any chart, we can take any table out of Chanalyzer, and we can put it into the Report Builder and use that to build out our customized report. And the really cool thing about this is that with the waterfall navigation, we can go to anywhere that we want in the recording, like right here when the cordless phone was talking, or right here when the cordless phone wasn't really talking. We can pretty much send anything that we want to the Report Builder. We can also change the time span that we want to send to the Report Builder. So this is 12 seconds that I have selected right now, but I'm going to bump this up to, let's just select exactly 30 seconds. So now I have a 30-second time span selected with the time span controls. The other thing that we can do here is we can change any of the views that we want. We can customize these views any way we like, and those changes will be reflected when we send these things to Report Builder. So for example, in the density view, we can show and hide color by utilization if we want. We can show and hide the networks that are nearby if we want. We can even turn on the current, average, and max trace to really customize what we will send to the Report Builder. The same is true for the networks table. If we want to send this table of networks nearby, we can actually filter out which networks are going to be sent to the Report Builder. So maybe I'm only concerned about our network here at MetaGeek. So I'm just going to filter out MetaGeek really quick. And so now we're only showing the network that's called MetaGeek. And if I was to send this table over to the report, that's all that we would include. So between the time span controls and the navigation waterfall as a whole, and between the customization of all the different views, there's really a lot of different things that you can do to change the data that you are going to send over to your report. So let's build a report and see what it looks like. So over here in the Report Builder, the first thing I'm going to look at is the title page. It's the very first page here, and right now it just says WiSpy report and it has a date. Let's customize that a little bit. So we could change the title to, let's say, cordless phone. And maybe we want to add a company logo. So I'm going to add a logo. I've just got a PNG file that is, you guessed it, it's just the MetaGeek logo. You can add whatever logo you want there. And let's say that it was prepared by Joel, because that's who's preparing it right now. Maybe we'll say Joel Crane to make it a little bit more professional looking. So there we go. So there we have our title. We've got our logo, and we've got who it's prepared for and at what time it was prepared. So now let's start adding some information to this report. So first off, let's send I kind of want to send like kind of a baseline for what this environment looks like from a Wi-Fi perspective. So I'm going to hide the density, I'm going to hide the current, and I'm just going to send all of these wireless networks over to Report Builder. So if I click on the Report Builder menu here, I can add the density graph from here. I could also do it from Report Builder if I wanted to. There's an Add Report block button here where it's basically the same options, just from a different window. So I'm going to add our density graph. So now if we go back over here, we can see we have our title page, and then we have our first block, which is all of the networks that were nearby. Now, let's say that we want to customize this. Maybe I can change density graph to networks. Let's just say networks. And we've got some text pre-filled in here that kind of explains what this view means, but I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to just say these are the networks that are nearby. Okay, so these are the networks that were visible. Now, let's filter down and just show the networks that belong to MetaGeek, because that's all that we really care about, is we're kind of defending our wireless network right now. So these are all of the access points that belong to the MetaGeek network. And so I'm going to do Report Builder and hit Add Another Density Graph. And so now we've got just the access points that belong to the MetaGeek network. And maybe I'll switch over to physical mode here. And we've still got our MetaGeek filter apply, but this mode is going to show me all the individual access points, including this one called MetaGeek QA27. And so I'm going to add this time I'm going to add a networks table. So right here we'll add this table. Now notice it gives me a different type of data here. Instead of getting a data visualization, now we get a nice clean graph in here, or a nice clean table in here as well. And notice that it respected all the filters that I applied. Okay, so now let's show what happened, the carnage that happened in the spectrum. So I turned on density and I turned current back on, and I basically want to show what this cordless phone looks like. So I'm going to hit Report Builder, and I'm going to add another density graph. And so there's our cordless phone. So let's change this, and we'll just change the title here to cordless phone. We won't worry about editing the text here, because I think you get the idea for that already. And then I kind of want to add a waterfall to show how this cordless phone moved from channel to channel. So I'm going to select a larger time span here. And in this portion of the time span, we can see that the cordless phone was like shutting on. It was turning on and off here. And we can see that it was moving from channel to channel a little bit. Let's just select a little bit narrower. We'll just grab that right there. So that really kind of illustrates how this cordless phone was moving from channel to channel. Now this is the waterfall graph, and that's the one I want to add. So I'm going to add a waterfall graph now. So now we've got a portion in here that shows how that cordless phone moved from channel to channel. I also want to show how often this cordless phone was talking. Basically, the utilization, how often a device is utilizing the channel, is pretty important. And we've got a tool built in here. The utilization graph shows us a percentage of how busy this device is keeping the channel. Now, the threshold that I want to take my threshold at about -70 dBm, which is right there. So I'm going to change this to -70 dBm. So there we go, -70 dBm. We can see it is hitting about 100% utilization. So we'll add, this is the utilization graph. See where it says utilization graph right here. So we can add that utilization graph. And so now we've added that to the report as well, so we can see how often this device is transmitting. Now there's a lot of different things that you can add here. You can add information out of the channels table if you'd like to. You can add information out of the networks table, the networks graph. This is a graph of signal strength over time for our networks that we have filtered from the networks table. You can add the utilization graph, and if you use the waterfall notes tool, you can add those as well. So pretty much anything here you can add to the report builder. Now let's say that you want to change the order of these a little bit. So maybe we've gone through, we've added the things that we're interested in adding to our report. Maybe we've already gone through and we've kind of explained what we're looking at with a title and a description for what's going on. Maybe we've done all that, and now we want to reorder these a little bit. We want to put them in a different order. Maybe we want to put our networks first. To change that, you can just drag the report blocks up and down. So I'll put this density graph up here, and this is, let's just call it MetaGeek Network, so that we can keep track of it. We'll leave the description alone for now. So there's the MetaGeek network, and let's call this one MetaGeek access points. So there's our MetaGeek access points, and then maybe we'll change this one to all networks, just so they can see what everything looks like. All networks. And then we've got our cordless phone, we've got our waterfall, and then we've got our utilization. And maybe at the end, if we wanted to, we could add a custom block, like just a text block here. And we could call this one like conclusion. We could give some recommended actions here to say, like, you know, what we recommend that you try. So maybe, you know, you do like thing A and thing B. That's probably enough for now. And we'll add that. So now at the very bottom, we just have a plain text block. And the neat thing about all these blocks is that if you don't like the description that we've put in here for the waterfall view, and if you find yourself having to change that over and over, if you click this save button, it will actually save that for next time. So that next time you add the waterfall view, it'll have that exact one. So you can really build out how you put together your reports, and you can just make it really, really quick for putting together your reports later. So now that we've finished up this report, there's a few different things that we can do with it. If we decide that we really don't like exactly where this waterfall graph is, it's really easy for us to update exactly what that looks like. So maybe I want to select a slightly different time span. Like, let's just show where it switched from one channel to the other. So I'm going to select a smaller time span this time. And then if I come over here and I hit the little refresh button, it'll actually update that to what I currently have selected. So it's really easy to make those changes. And maybe for some reason, you'd like to get this data out of Chanalyzer to use it with something else. On every single block here, there is a copy to clipboard button. And if you click that next to one of these image-based graphs, it's going to bring that out as an image that you can paste into your image editing tool. I'll use the super professional one here, which is Paint. So there I was able to just paste that in, and so you can paste that into Microsoft Word or Google Docs or whatever you want to build out a completely custom report if that's something that you'd like to do. And of course, the tables all come out as basically plain text. So if I click on this table here to copy that, and I open up, let's just do Notepad, and I paste this in here, it comes out as a nice pre-formatted table, and it pastes beautifully into Excel or Google Sheets or whatever spreadsheet tool that you're using. So it's really easy to get the data out of the tool. But what if we just want to report or just export this report to view it? So what I can do here is I can click on, we call this the hamburger menu, and we click on export, and now we can basically save this. We can basically save this PDF. So let's call it cordless phone interference. So that's the name of our PDF. Okay, now I've switched over to my Mac, and I've just opened up this PDF that we exported from the report builder in preview for OS X, which is one of my favorite PDF viewers out there. And we can see that what we get, the result from this is a really nice, really beautiful report that we've completely customized. It looks really good, and it's easy to print if it's something that you need to print out. We've removed the black backgrounds, and so it looks good and doesn't consume tons and tons of ink if you need to print it out for whatever reason. But this is a report that you can easily email somebody and or give to a customer or to your boss to show what you did or what you need to do to fix the problem. Now, if you want to save this report to open it up later, you can. Back in the aforementioned hamburger menu, if you click on Save Report, we'll actually save a copy of this report in a WSXR format. So we could call this, again, cordless phone interference. And I could actually come back to this later and open it up and continue editing it. Like if I want to put several different recordings all into one report, that's really, really easy to do. The other thing that we can do with this is we can build templates to work off in advance. So if I go back here and open up a previous report here, this one is called Training Report Template. I get a lot of requests from customers saying, hey, can you look at this spectrum analysis report for me? And so to help them get trained up on how to use Chanalyzer, I've put together a few examples, like how to read the overview pane and how to read the waterfall view and what 802.11b looks like and what 802.11g looks like. So this is just a pre-configured report that I've put together, and now I can go in here and I can start adding things like my own density graphs to say, okay, so now that we've seen some examples, here's what your environment looks like. And so then I finish out that report and then I export it as a PDF and send it to them so that they can not only learn how to use the software and what to look for, but of course get a customized report that's special for them. So that's a quick overview on how to use the report builder. If you have any more, or if you have any questions, feel free to open up a support ticket at support.metageek.com. And for more tips, videos, and articles, visit our knowledge base at support.metageek.com. Thanks a lot. Bye.